What you gonna do? The footsteps will pull us through.
Trump's new requirements on food stamps got these single moms in absolute shambles. I got a banger from Men Only. Let's get straight into it.
5 days since I have been able to eat anything.
Well, is it because you don't have any top teeth? Or is it, maybe it's because of something else?
Why, may you ask? Why haven't you eaten 5 days, Courtney? Well, because Donald Trump decided to change the rules when you collect welfare benefits, food stamps, cash assistance, Section 8, disability, whatever it is. So I have been cut off. I have never worked a day in my life. I have...
We feel bad. You never worked a day in your life? Baby girl, I've been working since I was 15. I was cutting yards as a teenager. I was a soccer referee. Chat, let me know in the comments right now. What was your first job? What was your first job? Let me know.
6 kids, 6 mouths to feed, 4 baby daddies.
Good Lord.
Okay, I don't receive child support. I don't
That sounds like your fault.
have any income. I've never had a job.
How do these people even exist? I think this chick is rage bait and satire, but I bet there's somebody that's actually like this out there.
I'm not ever going to have a job. I don't want a job. The whole point of having the kids was to get government benefits.
Yikes, bro.
I have been collecting almost $10,000 a month in government benefits for 13 years. And now they just strip it from me. They take it from me.
Go get a freaking job.
How the hell am I supposed to feed my kids? How? How am I supposed to pay rent? This is bullshit. Not only that, I have over 335,000 followers, and not one person has offered to help me.
I love it.
What's the point of having all these followers if they don't care, right?
Some people like to confuse clout for people that want to help you. Some people just like to see you fail. You know what I mean? There's what was it? What was his name? Only Use Me Blade. I don't know if any of you guys have ever heard of this content creator, but literally people just wanted to see him deteriorate his own life, bro. Like they didn't want to see him win.
A Costco family of 6 that receives food stamps.
I did one video on the Medicaid lady, and my algorithm is now food stamp food hauls. All right, you want to put it out in the public? Then I'm going to go ahead and pick it apart. Let's see what you got.
I'm gonna go look for trash cans because mine broke, and I really want the
You
side
should look for a treadmill.
by side ones. So let's go see if they have them.
Trash can talk really got me because I can remember when my youngest was born, we were super duper duper fucking broke and we needed a new trash can, and I had to shave $20 off of my grocery budget so that I could buy a $20 trash can from Walmart, and we still have it. It's in our bathroom. It was one of the Rubbermaid ones. You know what I'm talking about? I remember it because I really did want one of these. I still don't have one of these because I can't justify spending over $100
Bro, that's a lot. $100 for a trash can, bro?
on a trash can. Newsflash, at the end of the video, she doesn't get her trash can from Costco. She has to order it from Amazon because Costco didn't have it. We're not off to a good start.
Buddy, got it.
Okay, starting it off good with the fruits here. Some veggies. Ooh, that's where we're going, Sam.
Oranges, the onions, the chicken, fantastic. You're gonna make some fantastic dishes with that. Dishes that are gonna last you probably a couple meals. Cotton candy grapes cost a little bit more than the regular grapes. We can't afford to buy cotton candy grapes. The cookies is wild, okay? For $10, you can buy everything that you need to make chocolate chip cookies, and it will last you. You'll make up to 130 or so cookies if you do them in batches. You can freeze those cookies, and they'll last you probably a good 2 weeks. Ask me how I know, because we had to start doing this. Because we were also buying prepackaged cookies, and then we couldn't afford it anymore. And so
Bro, they're expensive.
I had to start buying the ingredients and making cookies at home so that my kids had snacks. But let's carry on.
Can you even pick that up? Yes. Oh my gosh,
What is that?
mussels. So they didn't have the trash can that I wanted, so I'll just have to order it on Amazon.
Faith over fear. Weight over your big back. I was trying to come up with something clever. Dots pretzels horrible for you. Those are horrible for you. Those are bad for you. Those
Put on
are
the bottom,
not
please.
good for
You
you.
have to lay down, baby.
And you lost me. Again,
Good
we used to
Lord.
buy these, but we couldn't afford to do it anymore. Same with these. Chicken nuggets, fine. The bread, fine. You got a couple frozen.
Dino Nuggies, man. The Dots pretzels, nah, bro. If you can't, bro, you could be saving so much money if you shopped a little bit better.
We couldn't afford a big ass. We can't. I can't afford to buy any of this shit on a weekly basis or bi-week or even monthly. I can't afford it.
Hour in and out of Costco, stuck to my list pretty well, and ended up spending $375, and then we have to go pick up a Walmart order.
Oh my, wow. $375. Chat, I feel like that's a lot of money. Put a 1 in the chat if you agree. $375 for 4 kids? But I forget to have 8 mouths to feed. I know she's eating for 2.
For $65, $440 total. It wasn't enough that I spent $440, but Walmart decided to not give me some of my items, so I'm gonna run into Target real quick and grab the rest of what I need.
Is she out of breath just walking and recording that? Poor baby.
The budget for groceries is $200. This is a monthly haul, and it's quite possible. My $200 also includes laundry detergent, dishwasher detergent, dish soap.
Yeah, see, that's when the stuff will catch up to you, when it's like you're buying essential stuff like, oh, I had to buy paper towels, I had to buy laundry detergent, I had to buy all this stuff. But this is crazy to me that food stamps is paying for this stuff, bro. All of us, at least I feel like most of us that watch the channel, me included, we all work for our coin, bro. We work, we have jobs, like we contribute, we pay taxes, things like that. So this is wild work.
Anyone ever had this happen to them? I woke up to try to order groceries using my EBT card. Yes, I get food stamps. Don't fucking judge me. I'm a single mom of 5.
Single mom of 5.
Single mom, you let him hit it. What you gonna do? The food stamps will pull us through.
Lord have mercy, 5 kids? Did you ever think to maybe stop cracking your legs for men that weren't going to marry you?
Shots fired.
This is crazy work. I don't feel bad for her immediately. Chat, do you feel bad for her? 5 kids, no husband? Oh.
Trying my fucking best, okay?
You're not trying your best. Your best is not getting your back blown out by 5 different guys.
Shots fired. I woke up to try to order groceries, and it said that my EBT card balance was $1.17, and I know for a fact that I had over $400 left on that card. And I went to the transactions, and it says supermarket, not even Walmart, HEB like it normally. It just says supermarket. And somebody spent $456 on my food stamps.
Brutal.
And I know people probably
It'd be crazy if you like had a job, right? Nutty to think maybe if you like had a job, you know, you could have like a credit card or maybe a debit card with some money on it, but no job for you.
like, why are you crying? I need to know what to do, guys. 211 is not open yet. The 1-800 number is not open yet. Will they refund me my money back?
I got a grand idea. Get a job.
Shots fired! Small babies, twins. Okay, I'm sorry. I know it probably feels like I'm dramatic, but
No, you're big backed.
big back.
I wasn't thinking dramatic.
I have to feed my kids. Who does this?
Do they not realize who does this? You did this to yourself. The lack of self-awareness here is crazy. Imagine a man gets on the internet crying, I got all these kids and I just can't. We'd be like, okay, dude, nut up. Get some money. Go get a job. Go work. As men, we wouldn't have any sympathy for this. We wouldn't feel bad for other men complaining about this stuff. Ain't that right, Lokes? But when women can get on here and they can just cry about it. Like, you're getting free money as it is. Do you think if you were getting free money from the government, you would watch that little debit card they're giving you? Probably like a hawk, right? I wouldn't be so careless about just walking around with that card or letting it slip out my pocketbook or my wallet or whatever it may be. That thing would be glued to me. That's why I carry my phone. And chat, let me know if you guys carry a wallet. Do you carry a wallet? Do you do a phone case wallet? I do the phone case wallet. So my phone is a case my phone has a case that I put all my debit cards in. So I got like a credit card, a debit card, a health insurance card, and my ID. And that's it. That's all I carry. Cass does the purse. So if we need to put keys in there, we can, whatever. If I was this woman, I'd be like, all right, somebody stole my card. You can't just get this card stolen willy-nilly. Like, somebody physically took your card and went and spent money on it. So you got to be more responsible. But she already got a bunch of kids with all these men, so she's already not responsible. So it's like, oh no, the consequences of your irresponsibility. Wow.
This woman is literally crying because her...
Yeah, this is crazy to me. Crying over something she did and had full control over. You should have watched your card a little bit better, baby girl. That's what you should have did. That's what you should have did. It's not hard.
Lady just received 10 years federal time for lying on her food stamp application.
Good. Fraud, man. Fraud of any kind is bad.
Now, y'all, I understand it's hard out here. I understand more than the next person, okay? Trust me, I get it. I've been denied several times myself. All I'm saying is, if you lie and go to jail because you was trying to feed your family, who's gonna feed your family?
Well, maybe they'll go to an orphanage. I guess that's the next thing.
Y'all, it's not worth it, y'all. Like, I know this has been a thing for all of time. People have been lying on their food stamp application since it was invented. But y'all, they catching on. They catching on to y'all. They actually doing their background research. They checking to make sure the job matches the house, matches the medical bills, matches your name, matches your social security. They double checking now, y'all. Okay? So all that, let me lie, get a couple extra. Just be happy if you get it. Be happy with what you get. And that's it, y'all. Otherwise, you gonna be in the cell trying to figure out how you can get some soup.
3 million Americans will be kicked off of food stamps.
Dang. That's a lot of people on food stamps, bro.
3 million Americans. The bill that J.D. Vance just got through the Senate, you know, J.D. Vance, the guy who's always on Twitter, our vice president, he got in his car and he drove down to the Senate, and he was the one who cast the tie-breaking vote to push that bill to the next layer.
He said 3 million Americans are about
That's crazy. 3 million Americans.
time work. Turn around. You're not it are the
and then they answers to questions.
not it are the ones who got too comfortable doing nothing.
Food stamps. What does this big beautiful bill do for those with food stamps? This will be some answers to questions that you've been having, so make sure you stay to the end. Number one, they're going to up work requirements. So, for example, let's just say you've been working, you lose your job, and then they have no more job availabilities in your area, especially those small areas. There's no more job availabilities. Well, before, they would waive that, right, until a job became available. Now, they're saying you can't have that waiver, which brings us into number two, that you can't have that waiver unless unemployment in your area is at a 10%. Now, when I tell you 10% is extremely high, so even if your area is at 8%, 9%, none of that matters. You will not be able to get that waiver unless you're at a 10%. Now, there used to be an exception for single parents taking care of children, 18 and under. Now that's been lowered to 14. So you no longer have this waiver either if you cannot find a job. And one of the ways they determine if you're eligible for food stamp is if you have internet. So if you have internet, you will be less likely to get approved.
If you can afford internet and a phone, you could afford to buy your own groceries, bro. I remember back
for food stamp because
I remember back in my day.
How about
you? Can you stop, lady? I'm trying to talk here. I remember back in my day when we didn't have cell phones. We had the landline. We had dial-up internet. Not everybody had a phone on their freaking hip, dude. Now everybody got a phone on their hip. Everybody's got unfiltered access to the internet at all times. You remember that 5th grade teacher you had, that math teacher? Maybe it was middle school. She was like, "You're not always going to have a freaking calculator in your pocket." Wrong, Mrs. Harris. I have a calculator now. And I've got internet access pretty much anywhere in Texas, which is where I live. So, you were wrong. Been waiting to tell Mrs. Harris that for a very long time. Shout out Mrs. Harris. Look, ain't that right, dude? Mrs. Harris getting on my nerves, bro. Can we get some freeze in the chat? Loki. Free. Be careful. Good boy. That's a good boy there. Mrs. Harris telling me I can't have a freaking calculator in my pocket. Mrs. Harris, I got a calculator in my pocket, baby girl. Don't you even try to tell me what's going on here. So, you know what I mean? I know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm talking about. So, I don't know. This whole food stamp thing is crazy. I think they should put it on a card that you can only buy certain verifiable purchases, right? You can't Can't buy junk food. You can't buy crap food, cookies, soda. You should be able to buy like whole foods, nutritional things. Nutrient-dense food is what you should be able to buy, not junk like cookies. But the stuff is getting cut. Women are feeling the pressure.
Trump has stated that you have to make less than $35,000 a year to qualify for food stamps. Now I know this ruffles a lot of feathers and a lot of y'all are going to be angry about it because you feel like you deserve to be on food stamps or you should qualify and this and that. But you want to know what I think? You want to know how I feel? I feel like it's time. It's time to get your ass up and go out and do what you need to do for your family. You need to go and you need to work like everybody else. 1 job, 2 jobs, don't matter how many jobs.
Bro, big facts. I applaud this woman here. Growing up, my mom was a single mom, but she worked 2 jobs. She worked constantly to provide. Constantly. It was hard on her. I stayed at my grandparents a lot, you know, like, but a lot of these single moms, they don't want to work at all. You don't want to work at all? Like, bro, I don't feel bad for nobody that don't want to work.
Got 5. So get out there and make your own money to buy your own food. Let the people who don't got nothing going on get the food stamps. You know.
Hey, I mean, preach to her. Preach to her. Like, if you're disabled or something like that, I could understand, you know, like you literally physically can't work. But if you're able-bodied, able-minded, chat, put a 1 in the chat if you agree. If you're able-bodied, able-minded, you should be working. And like, there's a lot of places, like I went to a, it was really cool. I went to a little ice cream shop here in my home, or the town I live in. And when I walked in, there's a kid wearing a hat. And so I got up closer and it says, "Please be patient with me. I'm autistic." And I was like, I love that. Now I know exactly, like if he's taking a minute, if he's, you know, being a little bit awkward, I know he's autistic. So it like put a smile on my face to see that this autistic kid is working. He's trying to conversate. You can tell it's making him uncomfortable, but he's going out of his way to try to do this. And I'm like, there's people that are regular, schmegular, normal, logical, sound mind, sound body that don't even want to work. But this autistic kid is out here grinding, working, customer service, saying, "Hi, thank you. We appreciate you. Any questions? How can I help you? Do you want some samples?" And he's like sitting there working through it. And I applauded this young man. And I left him a fat tip. But I was like, this is so cool. Like, but there's women out there, some of these single moms, they don't want to work at all. But this autistic young man was out there putting in the work. I was like, bro, this is what I'm talking about. Like, men understand, even this guy who was autistic understood that, hey, nobody's going to save me. I have to go out there and get it. I have to go out there and grind. I love it. Not to say there's not autistic women that work as well, but like I thought it was really cool that he was out there like doing his thing. You know what I mean?
Okay, so I was looking at a YouTube video a while ago, and they said that the Trump administration is going to crack down on what people can buy with food stamps, and also they're going to crack down on the budget. I'm going to say this. This is my opinion, and I ain't finna cut nobody's feelings and nothing in this. If you are disabled, meaning that you are unable to work, you're on SSI or whatever, you are in poverty level, you deserve to get food stamps or some kind of supplement to your income so that you can help buy food, because food is high.
I agree.
Number 2, if you're one of these girls out here that's having babies every year or every 2 years and say that you are building a family, and
she's a runner, she's a track star.
Family are you building, baby girl?
You are still classified as at the poverty level, meaning that you are getting federal assistance for your housing, meaning hoods. You are getting child support. You're getting child care vouchers and all of that shit so your kids can actually go to school. You're getting $1,000 to $1,500 a month in federal food stamps so that you can feed your kids, and you lay around on your ass and on your back every day and suck and fuck.
Shots fired!
This lady's going in, bro.
Fuck and keep mess up and stroll on the internet on your free Wi-Fi. I want you to know that I don't give a damn.
Oh.
And they say, oh, well, what about the children? These people didn't even care about their own children. For one, you're already poor. You're already in poverty. Why do you keep on having kids?
Bro, thank you. Yes, thank you.
They have free child family planning. They have free birth control, free condoms at the health department, and y'all still keep having babies so y'all can lock down a man or so y'all can stay on federal assistance. I don't give a motherfucker if they cut you down to $50 a month. Your ass should work 4 jobs to feed them kids. That'll stop your ass from having all them children knowing you can't. Can't fucking feed them. And they say, well, if they give us food stamps, they should not be able to tell us what to buy with that, and my children ain't gonna eat that. Your children have been programmed to eat junk because you don't cook. Your children have been programmed to go in there and eat Hot Pockets for breakfast and Cheerios and sweet cereal and all that bullshit that's later on going to give them heart disease and diabetes. And then you want to know why they act like they ain't in their right mind jumping all over, because it's the proper foods that you're not giving your kids.
Hey, big facts to this woman. Bro, I'd love to meet this lady. It goes back to the nutrient-dense food, right? You have to have food that's nutrient dense, because when your body gets that, it says, hey, I'm full. But then you see a lot of these big back little kids.
Big back, big back.
To me, that's child abuse. Chat, put a 1 in the chat if you agree. It is child abuse if you see a family and they got 3 little children and they all fat. They got bigger backs than me. Bro, I was at Texas Roadhouse the other day with Cass. This family walks in. Both of their kids overweight, big old necks. And I felt so bad for these kids, because I know it's the parents feeding them. What do y'all want? Ice cream for breakfast? Cool, here you go. To her point, the sugary cereal, the stuff that's not nutrient dense, your body's going to crave more food because you're eating crap. But I think that's child abuse. Overweight children is child abuse. Chat, put a 1 in the chat if you agree. I think it's horrible to see these kids walking around overweight. Because it's the parents. It's the parents telling them what to eat. It's the parents leading them down this path of being overweight. Most of the time, the parents are overweight and then the kids are overweight. It's child abuse, straight up.
If you're going to get federal assistance, meaning that you're going to get money from the government, meaning the taxpayers' money, they should have a choice in what you are feeding your family. And
Facts.
If you don't want to do that, then you should get off your lazy ass and get you a job. That's my...
Hey, facts. I love this lady. But it goes back to the quote that I was raised up hearing is, beggars can't be choosy, bro. If you're begging for money, asking for free money, you can't be choosy too. Beggars can't be choosy, bro. You're getting the free money. Take it and get what you can with it.
To clarify the SNAP updates that happened in Oklahoma, today is June 26th. It is a Thursday, and at the state capitol today, Kevin Stitt and RFK Jr. Announced a few things, and there were some new executive orders. So one is that they're submitting a waiver, and this waiver is for SNAP, and it's going to change some of the rules on SNAP. It's going to restrict soda, candy, and confectionery items.
Thank God.
We've seen in the past waivers like that have been turned down, but in the past month there have been several states submit those same waivers, and they have been approved. And so we, I don't know if I have a percentage, but I'm going to guess that it will also be approved. And we're seeing some things at the federal level as well. And so when it comes to SNAP, food stamp, EBT, whatever you want to call it, they were going to be doing a state share with the administration fee, especially when it comes to overpayment or underpayment. And that was going to cost the state of Oklahoma around $300 million a year. And that is no longer on the table. And so we're waiting to see what the reconciliation bill language looks like. So we can better, or at least I can better tell you what those changes are going to be. We're seeing potential changes to work requirements, those age requirements for work requirements. We're also seeing some cuts to SNAP Ed, which I don't remember the right number. I think it's around $7 million comes in for education. I think those are used at places like the extension offices or for like 4-H programs, things like that. There's some other big changes, like I said, age limits. What am I forgetting? There's like one big one here. Let me think. So this is a smaller one. I guess, smaller. There are some areas where there's low employment, and so those work requirements would be really difficult to have if there's no jobs available. And so some of those areas are just automatically, you can receive SNAP in those areas, and I think they're going to take out some of those areas. So that's really disappointing.
I mean, some areas that are small, I can understand, like small towns, it's, hard to get a job and things like that. But I live in an area that's like, 150,000 people. In chat, let me know where you guys are at right now in the comments. But almost every time, in chat, put a 1 in the chat if you agree. Almost every time I go out to Ross, TJ Maxx, Academy, hell, Walmart, Target, they're always hiring. There's always a sign that says, we're hiring, like every place is hiring, but it seems like people just don't want to work. They don't want to go apply. I'm sorry, but if you really need a job, and you could go work at Ross. Nobody's too under or overqualified to work at Ross. Ross is very basic, bro. Very simple. Same thing with TJ Maxx. Same thing with Walmart. These jobs aren't laborious. They're not extremely difficult. You don't have to have a 200 IQ to go work there. You work at these places. I worked at Kroger's when I was 16. Do you know how stupid I was at 16?
Stupid.
I was an idiot, brother. Straight dumb. Arrogant, stupid, pompous, thought I was 10 foot tall and bulletproof. I thought I was the man. In reality, I was not. I got humbled real quick once I got into college. But I can at least look back now and say, I thought I was him, and I was definitely not Timothy Chalamet. Not him, Duncan. I was none of that. I was not him, the tool man. I wasn't him, Allen. You know what I mean? But I feel like if you haven't gone through that ego death and you haven't gone through that humbling, I call it the humbling. If you haven't gone through that as a young man, you really will go through this life feeling entitled like a lot of these women. And then it goes back to men typically go through this ego death, whereas women never really have that. Women really never get humbled by other women. Men get humbled by other men. There's a hierarchy of power. Oh, he better than you. He better than you. You're not as good as him. In chat, put a 1 in the chat if you agree. Men typically go through this humbling. Women never do. That's why I always say women grow old, they never grow up, because they never get checked like men do. Their egos go unchecked for their entire life. Imagine you get to be 70 years old thinking like you're a 16-year-old kid. Your ego never got checked. You never got humbled. You never got egoed by somebody else. It's like being on the football field and somebody just blew you out, like just knocked your block off. Women never get that. Emotionally, physically, nothing. They never get any of it. Typically, unless they play sports, or something like that, or unless they compete at a high level, most of the time they never get humbled like that. They just go through life. Like that. That's absolutely crazy to think as a man that would never happen to you. Isn't that right, Lokes? Aww. Isn't that right, buddy? But I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. It was good to have you guys out, man. I'll check you guys next time. Peace.